This podcast is brought to you in part by Russell Lands, Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Central State Bank, Dr. Thomas Dudney, Sunrise Docks, Bice Motors, the Green Monster Fishing Lights. Now, back to Bubba on the Lake.
B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey. Wishing I could listen to the show every day, hey. Gotta hear what Bubba and his buddies gotta say on B-U-double-B-A on the lake. In the mellow yellow studio, putting on a show. Betty say, what? She always on the go. We got Hunter Bus sitting at master control. Don't wanna miss a moment, cause Bubba's got the flow. B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey. Wishing I could listen to the show every day, hey. Gotta hear what Bubba and his buddies gotta say on B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey. B-U-double-B-A, hey. B-U-double-B-A, hey. B-U-double-B-A, hey. B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey.
Hello again, friends, neighbors, and associates everywhere. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and now your host of Bubba on the Lake, also known as the People's Podcast. We're broadcasting and podcasting from the Mellow Yellow Studio. Our website is bubbaonthelake.com. Always, you can reach me via email, bubba@bubbaonthelake.com. And, of course, our comment line, 308-BIG-LAKE. 308 Big Lake. That's 308-244-5253. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications. We don't want you to miss anything from the show, and also follow us on social media. Well, we got a special podcast for you. This is entitled Bubba Goes West. We took a tour out west, Big Sky Country, bucket list items, and I want to tell you a little bit about that with Caravan Tours. Jim Kelly was our tour guide. Dennis was our bus driver. I want to be perfectly clear. There was no paid representation or sponsorship of this. We bought the tour just like anybody else would and went on it. No promotional consideration. But we wanted to tell you what a great time we had. Betty's going to be joining me, and we'll recap our 9-day journey out west. And I was going to do some social media posting, but I had a rare, very strange phone problem that was not allowing me to get on social media. And I'll talk about that maybe in the podcast coming up. But we wanted you to know about it. Speaking of things that we always enjoy, Russell Lands is a proud sponsor of the podcast here. And, you know, they have a great website, russelllands.com. They also have an app. You can find out anything going on around Lake Martin. That's where we're based out of, and we have neighbors that come in from Atlanta, from Montgomery, from Mobile. We even have some from Louisiana that come in from time to time, and it's just such a big lake with so much going on, and you need to have their website to know about it. Friday on the Green, very popular. You need to see who is performing. Bring your lawn chair, bring your bug spray. Your dog is welcome if they're on a leash. And it is a great time. Everybody enjoys that. You can find out about that and everything else that Russell Lands has going on at russelllands.com. Well, folks, I want to tell you this trip was something that I have wanted to do for almost 4 years. Many of you remember during the radio show, I was diagnosed with liver cancer. And they actually found the tumor while I was in the ER having a gallbladder attack. And I had my gallbladder removed. That went very smooth. Have not had any problems from that. As a matter of fact, better than I used to be. And but we were very fortunate because the doctor on call that night, he usually did not work the ER, but he was letting another doctor get off to go see his son play baseball. And it was a God thing that he was there because he was an expert in liver and pancreatic cancer. And he found a tumor on my liver. They kind of told me the spiel about it all and that I had to get it taken out as soon as possible. I will tell you, it was the hardest thing to do to walk back into the hospital feeling as good as I did. It was a bright, sunny day. I'll never forget it. You know, when you go in and you feel like you've got a spear stuck in your side, you don't care what they do. You just want to get better. You know, cut me open, take it out, do whatever, stab me, poke me, just get rid of this pain. But when you feel great and you still got the stitches from your first surgery and you go in and they tell you they're going to have to cut you open again and they're going to take this mass out and they're going to try to get good margins around it, and then they're going to send it to get a path report. And the path report is going to tell us everything we need to know. Was this a cancer cell of the liver, or did your liver catch a cancer cell that came from somewhere else? And it was going to take a little bit of time to get this path report back. But I remember laying in the hospital recovering from the liver surgery, which was worse than the gallbladder surgery. And you don't know if you are going to live or die. You don't know if you have cancer in other parts of your body and it has spread to your liver, or you just had a tumor in your liver. You don't know if you're facing chemotherapy, immunotherapy, radiation. You just don't know. And the wait is rather agonizing. I will tell you, we had great comfort during that time. I feel like I was being bathed in prayer from the radio audience. And I told Betty, I said, no matter how I felt at 6 o'clock every morning, I definitely felt better. And I think that's when the show came on the air and the guys were telling everybody an update. And so many prayer warriors in that audience were praying for me. And I felt it. I mean, I absolutely felt it. At 6 o'clock, it's just like you got a shot of something and you just felt better. And while we didn't know, we felt confident that, God was in charge and he would lead us in the way that we needed to be led. But as I was laying there in the bed, I thought, I don't have a bucket list. If I get out of this, if I survive this, I need to make a list of things that I want to do, places I want to go. There was a few people I wanted to reconnect with. And I kind of made a list, and I thought if we can survive this, I want to work that list. And this trip to Big Sky Country was right there at the top. And some of the places we went, some of the things we've seen, just breathtakingly beautiful. Would love to go again, honestly. But we'll break that down. It's a 9-day tour, and this is going to be a rather long podcast, so hang in there with us. Betty will join me next segment, and we will hit the road with Caravan Tours. So thank you again. We really appreciate you being a part of Bubba on the Lake, and we're very excited to give you this presentation. We've always said it's about people, places, and perspectives, and today we're going to cover places. We'll be right back in just a minute. Thanks for being a part of Bubba on the Lake.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll be right back.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Dr. Dudney has been my dentist for about 20 years. He does a great job taking care of my teeth, making sure my cavities are good, cleaning my teeth, and also adding veneers to my smile, which was a game changer. Now, Dr. Dudney and his friendly staff can do the same for you. I ask you to give them a chance. Just talk to them, no cost. Just make an appointment, see what you need, see if you can have a better smile and feel better about yourself today. Give them a call at 205-663-6545 or tedudney.com. Well, we're back, folks, and we are ready to break down our 9-day trip out west here on the podcast that is lovingly called Bubba Goes West. I'm joined by my traveling partner, Betty Lou Bussey. Betty, how are you, babe?
I'm doing great. I got my cowboy hat on over here and my chaps. We went out west. We're doing good.
Well, the best way to do this is just go in chronological order. And day one, we traveled to Rapid City, South Dakota.
Yep.
That's airport RAP route. And, that was our longest stay. We stayed 3 nights there. And Rapid City is it's not easy to get to.
No, it's really not. I accused you of having a mini stroke when you actually booked these flights.
Right.
Because somehow or another, we started out in Birmingham, went to Michigan.
Went to Detroit.
Then we went to Minneapolis.
Yes.
And then we flew in to Rapid City.
Yeah.
Started at, we left here at the hour of 3 a.m., something like that. And
I knew you were going to bring that up.
And then we finally got there, around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure what happened there because it was booked a while back. But we were trying to avoid Atlanta just because it has been
apparently
the cluster that it usually is over there. And
we avoided it. I'll say that.
We're just about as close to the Atlanta airport as we are to Birmingham. But Birmingham is just so much smaller, it's a little easier to navigate. And you're going to have to, with Delta, you're going to have to connect flights somewhere.
Right.
So I basically chose Detroit, which was closer to where we were going than Atlanta, because we didn't want to go through that.
And somehow we got Minneapolis in the mix, though. I don't know how that happened.
We called it the tour of the NFC North. For you football fans, we visited the Lions and the Vikings on the way out to South Dakota. So we got there, and we stayed at a hotel that was called the Rushmore. And it's an older hotel that has been redone. It's very nice, but it's older.
Yeah.
And
very Western themed.
Yeah, they don't have as many electrical plugs as we do modern day.
But it was a very good amenities in there and all that other, I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very nice, but they didn't have enough electrical plugs.
Yeah. That was about it.
For those of us who, have a lot of things to charge now.
Yeah.
That's kind of a drawback. Throw in a CPAP machine, can get a little, you have to get creative there a little bit. So, but a nice place. And it's right there in Rapid City, which is a very nice little town.
Oh, my God. It's a hidden gem, I call it. I had no idea Rapid City, South Dakota even existed until this trip. You know what I mean? It was not on my radar. I'll say that.
It's not a giant airport. And you fly in there and, they come to pick you up in a van and a trailer, covered trailer that they put their luggage in. And but the city itself is called what did they call it? The President's City, because on every street corner downtown, they have a statue of a U.S. president.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Great restaurants.
Yes.
I mean, we had excellent food while we were there. Probably too much excellent food.
Yeah. Anyway. I stepped on the scale when I got back. I thought, how can you gain that much in that short amount of time?
I, however, have not stepped on the scale yet. I'm going to go ahead and work out a little, next 3 or 4 days before I actually weigh. We'll see.
Well,
But anyway.
we would highly suggest and recommend Murphy's Pub. It was down the street.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Murphy's Pub was good food.
They had a real good Mexican place. Do you remember the name of it?
No, I can't remember the Mexican place. I didn't write it down. And then they also have it may be the only Mexican place close to the that hotel, and also the Italian place close to the hotel. Really good. Yeah.
And it was across the street and
kind of across
I guess
down.
we should have had the names of those ready.
Yeah, I really didn't
podcast.
even. I don't think I wrote the names down or remembered them.
We'll look them up and mention them again toward the end of the podcast. So we get there and we have a little meeting, and Jim Kelly, not the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, who I lovingly nicknamed Machine Gun, and he was going to be our tour guide, and Dennis the bus driver. Now we had a A1 bus that we were on. I mean,
it was nice.
Super nice.
It really was. Comfortable seats. We had a great group on the bus. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. We were,
We really did. We had 44 people, I think, in our group to start with, and everybody was super nice.
They really were. And we only had 2 people going with us that we knew,
Right.
And so the rest of them, I mean, the other 40 people, were total strangers till we met them. You know what I mean?
But they were from Louisiana, Maryland,
South Carolina, Florida,
Florida,
Michigan, had a Michigan
group.
couple.
Yep. So it was all over the country.
It was.
And all of them wanted to see out west.
Yep.
So the first morning, which is day 2, we depart at 8:30 a.m., which means we had to get up and eat.
And
get
be ready.
and get ready to go. And that doesn't sound real early, but it can be for some people who don't get up that early.
We actually
I'm not
left
calling any
before.
names.
Well, we actually left before 8:30. That's just what it says on our little thing here. Right. We actually left about 7:45, something like that.
We got the jump. Thanks to Jim. Don't call me Machine Gun Kelly. And we went to the National Grasslands, went through that on the way to the Badlands National Park. I really didn't know what to expect from the Badlands. I knew it was like a lot of cliffs and hills and things, but it was absolutely beautiful.
It was.
I think what one of the astronauts, it may have been Buzz Aldrin, referred to the moon as magnificent desolation. And I thought the same thing about the Badlands. It is huge.
It is huge.
You literally, as far as you can see. And, that's about 75 miles, 60 to 75 miles before the curve of the earth takes over. Sorry for you flat earthers.
Well, I didn't know about all that, but the Badlands really were just, most of all this trip was breathtaking to me. I went with very low to no expectations on this trip. I didn't look anything up. I just thought I'm just going to go with it. This was one of the things on your bucket list. So I thought, well, I'm going. We'll just see what we see. You know what I mean? So it really was. I mean, like I said, I had no expectations. It was really beautiful, all of it, scenery and all that.
It's many, many years of volcanic ash that is packed down. And then grass grows on top of it. It looks like a field. Mm-hmm. But if there's ever a tear in that grass, in that surface dirt, and water gets in there and starts eroding it, and it doesn't rain a lot out there, but when it does, it makes its mark.
Yeah.
And that ash just washes away.
Yep.
And you're left with these incredible mountains and hills that go up and down. And we posted some of the pictures online. One of them I went up on, and it's tiny little rocks. And you slide in them very easy.
Yeah. I was a little apprehensive about you climbing up that incline.
An embankment, and it had about a 200 to 300 foot drop on the other side where it went down to a valley where a buffalo was grazing.
Yeah.
And, not losing your balance up there. And by the way, the wind is howling the whole time. If you don't like wind, the Big Sky Country is not your place because you're going to get some wind.
Yeah,
okay?
you are.
And we'll talk more about that when we went to dinner one night. Somebody had commented on one of the pictures I made with Andrew Jackson that it had to be fairly cold for me to be wearing a hoodie in the middle of June.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? It was not as cool as you think it would be temperature-wise, but the humidity was 17%.
Oh, it was almost zero. Let's just say I have to get keratin treatments here in the South in the summer. Didn't need one out there. You know what I mean? So anyway.
It was, I think, drier than I've ever been.
Yeah, it really was.
And then you add in about a 25 to 30 mile an hour consistent wind blowing, and you get cold. I mean, it's cold when it's in the 80s. And it was rather eye-opening to see that. But I was very impressed with the Badlands.
Me too.
There's also a lot of fossils found there. There's a lot of research going on there. We got to actually see at the Welcome Center, they actually have paleontologists who are working on fossils, and you can watch them work on it. I mean, they have a microscope and a little, cleaning brush and drill, and they're working on stuff, and you can watch them do that. It's really, really fascinating.
Like Ross on Friends.
Yeah, exactly like Ross on Friends. So after we left the Badlands, we drove over to, and you don't remember what city that Wall Drug was in?
Was it not right there? I thought it was in that area or whatever.
Well, it is, but I don't remember the town. Do you?
Well,
another
know.
point. We're going to have to double check here.
So Wall Drug Store, it was really good. We had the hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
We had the hamburger. You had a shake. And then they're known for their 5-cent coffee. One of our friends that was with us, David Shaw, had the coffee.
Sure.
Let's see, what else did we do? We got they're known for their homemade donuts that they do every day. So I got a donut, ate half of it, and was going to take the rest with me, and left it on the table. Came back to get it, and it was already cleaned up. I thought, well, there you go. That's a sign from God that this 5-foot girl doesn't need the other half of that donut.
Well, somebody might have ate it. I don't know what happened to it. But Wall Drug is a famous location because of the family. They almost went broke back in the Depression. They ventured out into other things other than just drugs. Mm-hmm. And you can see that. They have grown, and they've taken over every available spot next to them.
It was really cool.
So Wall Drug is now a block long. And I mean a full block, like a football field block.
Yep.
And they have everything under the sun in there. I mean, they sell guns, they sell drugs, they sell food, they sell every trinket imaginable. And we'll have some more pictures from Wall Drug online as I get to those days. By the way, I was going to, and I may have mentioned it earlier, I was going to start documenting this as we went, but I had some phone trouble. And I couldn't get online.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one reason you're just now seeing some of that. We went back to Rapid City. We had some free time. That's one of the nights we went out to eat. And as you said, the Mexican was excellent.
It really was. Yes, it was. And the walk was fun because we got to do all the pictures with all the president statues. It was really fun. That was a fun city. It really was.
So day 3, we get up and we leave again. Scheduled for 8:30, but I believe we left a little earlier than that.
We did. We left about 7:45 every day.
And this
pretty
was,
much 7:30.
This was one that we have all seen pictures of.
Right.
Mount Rushmore.
I knew what to expect at Mount Rushmore, but I was not.
I didn't
ready.
know. I mean, I knew what it looked like in movies.
Yeah.
I knew what it looked like
too.
in pictures, but I had never seen it. And I will say this, it is absolutely breathtaking.
It is. I mean, I think that was probably my favorite thing of the trip, Mount Rushmore. It was just so, surreal standing there looking at that because we had perfect weather. The sky was blue with no clouds right above Mount Rushmore that day. It was, and the backdrop was just, it was breathtaking. It really was.
All morning there. And we got to, and it's one of those attractions that have a lot of tourists come to it, but it's designed very well. They have an amphitheater right in front of the faces. And of course, we're talking about President Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln. And you learn about what they were going to do. They never finished it, by the way. And there's so many monuments like that. But they covered how they did this. They have an excellent visitor center there. They serve food. They have, again, all the trinkets and T-shirts and hats you'd ever want. And they have a theater where they show a movie about the building of that.
And the movie was good, I thought, too.
And
it was well done.
Yeah, the guy who did it, he died while it was being done. His son had to finish it.
Right.
It's very, very interesting how it all came together.
I wish I could think of his name. It's hard to pronounce, but I can't remember.
It's a French name.
Yeah.
So it was, it was really, really something. We did that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we went over to Crazy Horse. Now, Crazy Horse, I knew very little about.
I knew nothing about Crazy Horse. And I should have probably looked it up before we went and had a base knowledge, but I did not. I was doing good to get packed and all that before we left.
Yeah, how about packing for 9 days?
How about that? Yeah.
Of
course, way too much. But anyway.
I think that's the longest trip I've ever packed for.
That and maybe Hawaii years and years ago that I went to. Yeah.
So Crazy Horse is the Lakota Indian leader. He was one of the military leaders at Little Bighorn that killed Custer.
Right.
And so, there's some, a little bit of, I don't know the right word to say. You're kind of concerned, are we celebrating an outlaw here or what? You're also, you sense the situation that the Indians were in at the time, where they had invaders coming in,
right,
and how they had to deal with that and what they did and didn't do, and again, all I could think of, it's a great example of control your borders, and research and development. Just because Granddaddy did it that way, maybe we need to update a better way to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but it is a tremendous monument. I called it the Indian Mount Rushmore.
Well, it is kind of.
Now, I know the Indians would probably be highly offended by that, but it came out. That's the way it started. I think they saw the money that Mount Rushmore was generating,
right,
and said, "Look, we need in on that." So they went and got a guy who had actually
worked on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Thank you, Betty, for finishing my sentence. And this is better if we don't talk over each other too. And he got kind of kicked off of that job over there and was told by that sculptor to go get your own project. So he went down the street and did. And he started carving Crazy Horse, and it's actually bigger than Mount Rushmore. But it's maybe a third of the way done.
It's incomplete and has been for years and years. And it's only the family, right, that's working on it.
Well, no, there's 18 people that work on it full time.
Yeah.
But they will not take any government money because they felt like if they did, the project would never get finished because they'd have to answer to the government. Yeah. That's where Rushmore took the government money and got done and has an immaculate place.
Right.
But I do understand their concern when you sell out to the government.
Yeah.
Okay,
I understand.
so to speak.
Yeah.
But we did get to see that and hear the story of that family that had worked on that. The original sculptor and his wife are buried on the site.
Right.
Some of the kids have died. Some of them are very old now. But grandkids are running the project.
Two of them were working on it that day, weren't they? I think it's what.
Well, they're always there.
Yeah.
And like I say, they have 18 workers that work on it till 4:00 every day, and then for a price, you can go up to the face.
Right.
Which a lot of people had their picture made up there. We were not there during that time, or I would have gone up there. I would have loved to have seen it.
We got closer to it via school bus. we took a little school bus.
We did down a dirt road,
yeah.
and it was. It also was not a new school bus that the government had bought. It
was pretty funny.
But but the whole thing is very interesting because they have their welcome center has a lot of Indian artifacts in it.
Yes,
and we saw a little movie about them and the family that did that. Crazy Horse was, as I said, one of their great military leaders of the Lakota Indians, which is part of the Sioux. There's 3 different groups make up the Sioux Indians. And his famous quote was when he was apprehended in Nebraska, one of the soldiers, I think probably being smart with him, said, "Where's your land now, crazy horse?" And his famous quote was, "It's where my people are dead and buried. Is my land," and
like
he's
that.
pointing to it. And the statue or the monument, when it's done, will have Crazy Horse pointing toward the Black Hills, sitting on top of his horse. So it's a very impressive. And I have a picture that I'll post that shows you what the sculpture had put together, what he was going to build. It's about a 1/34th. Size difference, but it's in the exact position so you can see what they're doing in the background. So we'll post that picture online. But it's something, and makes you think about how all of this went down and what happened and how it happened, and where we are today. It is kind of funny. They're all working together today for tourists.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, one time at war, now they're working together to bring tourists in.
Into that area.
And Rushmore and the Crazy Horse people heavily promote each other. So they're like, come spend the day, see one, see both.
Right.
But it was good. You have both places have Lakota Indians that do native dances and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of history in this, a lot of history. And all along the way, both of these days, we saw a lot of wildlife.
Oh, yeah.
Bison.
A lot of bison.
We saw so many bison. By the last day, when people saw bison, we didn't even take pictures.
Yeah,
it's like I got so many pictures
there's another
of bison.
Yeah.
And antelope. And we learned that it's not technically an antelope. It's, what do they call it?
I can't even. Is it a longhorn?
Pronghorn.
Pronghorn, yeah. Which, pronghorn, antelope, whatever.
Well, the song where the deer
Where
and the
an
antelope play.
Yeah.
Seldom is,
So we just went ahead and said antelope, whatever. There's an antelope. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back and we will recap day 4 as Bubba and Betty go west.
Where's Bubba?
I'll tell you where. He's on the lake.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Grab a latte at Brew 63, linger over lunch at Fanny's, or take in a Lake Martin sunset at Kalijah Restaurant. Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
At Central State Bank, we believe community banking is more than just transactions. It's about relationships. For over 100 years, we've been helping neighbors grow, businesses thrive, and dreams become reality. Because when you bank local, you invest in your community. Central State Bank, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Visit us today or learn more at centralstatebank.com. Member FDIC.
Illuminate your night fishing adventures with the ultimate in submersible fishing light technology. The Green Monster Fishing Light attracts bait fish and game fish in all water environments. Turn any dock into a vibrant feeding frenzy. Compact, tough, and energy efficient. The Green Monster Fishing Light will provide endless hours of family entertainment and enhanced nighttime visibility for safe docking. No dock, no problem. With our 24-inch portable Green Monster Fishing Light, start landing trophy fish tonight. Visit thegreenmonsterfishinglight.com.
Well, we're back, folks, and we are touring the Great West, Big Sky Country. It was on my bucket list, and we're up to day 4, where we go to Little Bighorn and Billings, Montana. This was a little bit of a hike out there to that, but on the way to Little Bighorn, we got to see something that when I found out we were going to see this, I got very excited. It's called Devil's Tower. Does anybody remember Devil's Tower and what a famous movie that was in? Na, 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 na. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Richard Dreyfuss built a model of it in his den. He didn't know why. He saw it in a vision and had to build it. Then he saw it on TV. We saw it, and it is awesome, isn't it? I mean, it just sticks right out like nobody's business. I thought it was really cool.
It was really huge. It was a huge, I mean, you could see it way before we ever got there. And apparently some people climb it every year, but they don't like them to during some kind of sacred.
Well, this is another
Indian
thing where
thing.
the Indians and the white man have to work together.
Right. Yeah.
And the Indians consider it a sacred
Correct.
location. Now, this goes back to the history. And why it got its name, because I was wondering, why do they call it the Devil's Tower?
Right.
One of the early cavalry generals who was in charge of the area and had to deal with Indians who thought it was a holy site, told the Indians that it's where the devil lived, and it got the name the Devil's Tower. He was trying to spook them out of the area and to leave it alone. So that's how it got its name. It is still considered a sacred area for some of the Indian tribes. It is, you can climb it. People do die climbing it all the time. It's, if you see the pictures, you'll understand why. I mean, it's straight up and straight down. And they do ask that you don't climb during a certain holy month on the Indian calendar. And I think that was July or September.
No, it was in June or July, late June or July. I can't remember. I think July. Yeah.
But people do climb it. There's even a record for the guy who got up the fastest to the top.
Right.
Now, the top has its own little ecosystem. That is not where a UFO landed in the movie and brought back the pilots that disappeared in World War II. Okay, so I remember that movie so well. What a great movie.
I don't remember it at all. I don't even know if I've seen the movie, really.
Well, you know what? We're going to go watch it.
No,
when
we're
this
not.
podcast
We're
is
probably
over.
not. But anyway, we might watch it.
Remember that? Dun, dun, dun,
I remember
dun,
that
dun.
song just because, it's a famous thing, but no, I don't remember the movie.
So we've got some really good pictures from Devil's Tower, and we will get that to you. And it's close to Sturgis, South Dakota, which the population of Sturgis grows tenfold when all the bikers come in. Mm-hmm. And the whole town is kind of built around hosting that event.
Yes.
And it's become such a big financial thing for that area. And Devil's Tower is one of their favorite places to go because it's not too far out of Sturgis. So you'll see that. They're set up ready to handle tourists in that area. Now, we went to Little Bighorn. We saw where that happened, but the actual battlefield was closed the day that we were there.
Well, they're doing some renovation to it or something like that.
They're building a new visitor
closed.
center, yeah.
So it was closed.
And
so
I
we didn't
hated
get to see that.
because I mean, we could see it from a distance, but we could not get up there close. The Big Sky Country is in the Crow Nation area. Now, this is the largest Indian reservation in North America. Now, why did the Crow Nation get to have such a big reservation when all the other Indian tribes had little bitty piecemeal things?
Yeah.
They helped out the U.S. government.
Right. Yeah.
They were on the side of the U.S. government during the Indian Wars out west and actually was helping. They were actually helping Custer. And so they were rewarded after all this was over with the largest reservation of any Indian tribe, 100 miles long by 60 miles wide. That's a pretty big tract of land up there.
It is.
As a matter of fact, you go, and it's right in the corner of Montana. So you go into Montana and you ride for an hour and a half before you find the Welcome Center, where Montana for the white man starts, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, yeah.
But we saw, we got to stop there and see a lot of very interesting things. There's several museums there we got to look at, and that was quite a battle. That was where Custer met his his end.
Yep.
And there's a lot of history about that battle. The Sioux Indians, which were led by Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull. You've all heard that name. They overwhelmed General Custer and his cavalry.
Custer. General Custer. It was a cluster for Custer.
I mean, it was. When he turned around on that ledge and there was Indians everywhere, it was a bad deal. They call it Custer's Last Stand, and there's actually a hill there called Custer's Last Stand where they fought to the last soldier.
Yep.
But every single one of them was killed.
Yep. Oh, well.
And,
there you go.
You know, this also, that whole battle came, we got so many sayings off of that. Custer's Last Stand, we've all heard that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the saying, we won the battle, but we lost the war, was critical in this battle because this was the worst defeat the U.S. government ever took to the Indians. Mm-hmm. And it was right at the 100-year celebration back in Washington. We were celebrating 100 years of America. And news come back. All these dignitaries, all these governors, all these mayors are all in D.C. celebrating with our Congress the great accomplishment of 100 years on this continent. And they get news that hundreds of U.S. cavalrymen have been killed along with General Custer.
Right.
Who was a Civil War hero. He actually made general when he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
In charge of volunteers. Now, he lost that rank when he went back to the regular Army. Long story. But if you were in charge of volunteers, you could be promoted in the field, and he was to general. So technically, he was the youngest general we've ever had in the U.S., and no one will ever break that record because of the age. But it caused such an uproar in the government that they loaded up, buddy, and they went and finished the Indians off.
Yes.
It was the last stand for the Indians to have their own land. So there's the saying, we won the battle but lost the war. And the reaction and the reply by the U.S. government was tremendous. We sent thousands of cavalrymen out there to finish this off. And they also, that's where they actually apprehended and eventually brought to Nebraska Crazy Horse. And he was killed in custody. Now, the story is that he tried to break loose from a guard that was holding him, and another guard bayoneted him. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's the story they tell. But he was held in high regard by the Dakota Indians, part of the Sioux Nation, and he's got an awful big face on the side of a mountain now if they ever get it done. But it's a great thing to go see. So we did that, and then we went and finished that day by going into Billings, Montana. And Billings is a big city there. I think it's the largest city in Montana. And I know that our tour guide, Jim, don't call me Machine Gun Kelly, said the tallest building in the entire state was there, and it's 23 stories, which by some states is kind of laughable, but a beautiful town. And it was one of these towns, again, where this weather we're not used to. It was 93 degrees when we walked to go eat. I carried a jacket with me because the wind was blowing so hard. There was no humidity, and it was actually chilly, and I feared when the sun went down, we'd freeze to death. So I carried a jacket. I didn't wear it the whole time, but I think, Betty, that's the only time it's been 93 I had a coat on ever.
Well, I took a big coat and never put it on except for the morning that we were going to raft, and that's later on in the podcast that day. But anyway, that's the only day I put that on. And packed several sweater type thing, didn't need them. You know, you just never know out there, though, and what kind of weather.
Yeah, the elevation, too, plays such a big part of it because most of this time, we're 6,000 feet and above. At one point, we got up to about 9,000 feet. And people in our group were already having breathing trouble. I mean, we live now 500 foot above sea level.
Right.
And we measure everything by Mount Cheehaw. Okay, that's our highest point in our state. It's 2,400 feet, 2,400. So we're at almost 3 Cheehahs on just walking around. So the air's thinner. I looked it up on AI, and it said that there's 29% less oxygen at that level.
Yeah.
So
it never bothered me, but it did some, you know what I mean?
Well, when we were walking around, I sit down and rested more than I normally would have.
Right.
You could tell you could get out of breath, but it wasn't bothering me just walking around and just talking. Now, several in our group did have problems with it.
Yeah. There were 2 or 3. Yeah.
They were glad
fine.
to see us get to a lower altitude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it gives you headaches.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you a little
Now, I
nauseous
had a little
sometimes.
headache on a couple of days, but other than that, I was fine.
So day 5, we head over to what is kind of the crown jewel of this trip. That is Yellowstone National Park. And we followed the Lewis and Clark Trail to Yellowstone. And Yellowstone, I've heard so much about it over the years. I was afraid it was overhyped. Not a bit. Lived up to every expectation. Did you like it?
Yes, it was beautiful. It really was. Now, the geysers had quite a rotten egg sulfur smell to it.
You don't have that.
You know, but other than that, it was really, I mean, they were stunning, to look at and all that. And so was everything else. The waterfalls, all that. It was so pretty.
Now, if you have not been to Yellowstone, there's 2 loops, a northern loop and a southern loop, and they cross in the middle. And you see animals everywhere you go. I mean, you could be at a rest stop, and you could have a moose nibbling on the bush. So you have to be ready. They warn you about bears.
Never saw a bear.
We never saw a bear.
I am disappointed in that, but that was the only disappointment of the trip, I'd say.
We can see a bear around the lake. We have them on people's driveways from time to time.
Let's don't do that. I'd rather see them in somebody else's area.
I didn't want to run into a bear. Now, they have grizzly bears,
I'd like to see them like from the car or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to like run up on one. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah.
Yellowstone, and this was something I didn't know, became the first national park in the world. It was established in 1872. And then after that, every president added 3 or 4 more national parks as we went along. We got to visit Mammoth Hot Springs. Now, that is this whole volcanic thing. And I thought that people were more up on it because I've seen specials on it. Yellowstone is sitting on top of a super volcano. And it has erupted many times in the past. That's why we have the Badlands, the ash at the Badlands and all this. And when it goes up again, it is going to be devastating to North America. I mean, Mount St. Helens, do you remember we all had these colorful sunsets and dust in the air for a while?
Yep.
Yellowstone will crush everything we're growing. Okay, when it goes, she'll be a big one. And at one point, we drove through the supervolcano part of Yellowstone.
Right.
And it was about 60 miles long.
It's a huge, area.
That's the, if you think about a volcano on top of it, looks like a bowl. We were in that bowl for about 60 miles. That's how big it is. And that's why they have all these geysers.
Yeah.
Now, the geysers to me are by far the coolest thing on all of it. They have 3 basins. They call it the lower, the middle, and the upper basin. The upper basin has Old Faithful on it.
Yeah.
Old Faithful is built up. There's a hotel, a visitor center, a cafeteria, boardwalks. But folks, what I was not ready for is how many geysers they are in this park. Hundreds.
Oh, yeah. We couldn't even see all of them.
Everywhere you looked, there was smoke coming out of the ground.
Right.
And they tell you straight up, do not get off that boardwalk because that ground is so baked from the heat over time. It's brittle, and you could put your foot in it and go right through it 5 foot down, and it be hot, scalding water. It is so bad that when they build the boardwalks, they don't put post holes down in the dirt. They just put like concrete slabs and build on top of it, or wooden slabs and build on top of it. Because they can't, if they break that crust, it'll become its own geyser. And we walked around and looked at those, and you have some that are hot springs. They're just a hole with water bubbling out of it that's scalding hot. You have vents that are holes that are just steam shooting up, making the awfulest noise you ever heard. And then you have the geysers that water shoots up into the air 2 or 3 stories high at different times because the water gets to boiling inside and it shoots it up. From a science standpoint, the geysers by far and away were the most, I mean, I was so into that. And this is what I didn't know. Old Faithful is impressive. It's like a fire hose squirting up in the air. And it goes off about every 92 minutes. And it's within a few minutes of that. But everybody knows, and it's like a football game out there with people waiting on it. I thought that was cool. Could you believe how many people were out there waiting on it every time?
Well, that's the main attraction out there.
Right.
So, yeah, that's when we came up, you could see all the people already sitting on little stadium. It's not bleachers, but little benches and whatever,
And standing behind them. I mean,
Right.
they're 10, 12 deep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's impressive. And then you go on this boardwalk and you see all these other guys, or some of them have names, some of them don't. The beehive, we saw it bubbling up. And
the tea kettle, the beehive, the
ear.
what was that main?
There was one called the ear.
What was that one we saw when we first came in? That usually doesn't go off.
I'm going to get to that in just a minute. That to me may have been the highlight. It's on the lower basin. Now, the middle basin has one, and I think the name of it was Excelsior, and it used to be
that one.
It used to be the biggest geyser in the park, but it blew itself up, and now it's just a hot springs. But it puts out, and I want to say Jim said 4,000 gallons of boiling water a minute, and it heats the river up.
Yeah,
To the point the river has its own plant life, even in the winter, because it's so warm. It never gets below 45 degrees, even when it's minus 20 everywhere else.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And but the biggest geyser currently that erupts is called the Fountain.
The Fountain. Yeah, that was the one.
And he was telling us about it. We pull up to this geyser field again. It looks like 100 people cooking out. You just see these smoke trails, white smoke going up. And I told Betty, I said, fountain's going off. I see it going off. And we got there and got out on it. And I think it's some of the most incredible footage we got because you get so close to it. And it is so much larger than Old Faithful. I mean, it is pitching a fit.
Oh,
and we're getting wet from it.
It sprayed us, yeah.
And our tour guide said, be sure to wipe all that off, your equipment, your glasses, because it's an acid, it will pit.
Yes.
Plastic.
Uh-huh.
So, we're all rubbing our phones and our glasses trying to get all that off. But it was, I think, if I just had to say one high water mark of an excellent trip, it was seeing Fountain go off because it was impressive.
It was impressive, all right.
Much
showered
bigger,
us, yeah.
Bigger than the fountains at Caesar's Palace, which I've seen.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it gets its name. It's very similar in its look. So that was really cool. Those days and the wildlife you see there is amazing.
Elk. Didn't we see elk? And
they also, there's a waterfall there that is actually a longer waterfall than Niagara Falls.
That's what was pretty to me.
It's not as wide, but it's a longer fall, and it has washed out this valley that is just incredible. And then again, you're at an elevation of 6,600 feet.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible. The thing about those elevations too, the temperature varies greatly between the sun being out and you being in the shade because the air's so thin. It doesn't diffuse the heat like we have. Mm-hmm. So, you get that direct solar heating and you get none solar heating when you're in the shade, So it's it's impressive. But I don't think Yellowstone was oversold one bit. It was.
No.
I thought it was really, really good. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and tell you. Let's see, we're only to day 5 out of 9 days, so we have a little bit more to go. But I would say everything we have told you about so far, if you have not seen it, make a trip to see it. I think it was on my bucket list, and I'm glad it was.
Oh, yeah. It was probably not on my bucket list, but, I'm glad I went. It was a great great trip, great company. We had a great time.
Yeah,
we really did.
And I'll tell you more about it. We went with Caravan Tours. There's no full disclaimer. We didn't get any discount here. They're not paying us.
No, we did not.
We paid just like everybody else, and they really, really did a good job. But we'll tell you more about that when we come back in just a minute.
It's Bubba on the Lake. Bubba on the Lake.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Spend your mornings with breakfast at Fanny's. Afternoons, you can explore over 100 miles of trails through Russell Forest. And for dinner, how about the Southern farm-to-table flavors at Springhouse? Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
Just got that new boat? Let Sunrise Docks protect your investment with Swift Shield boat covers, Neptune boat lifts, and easy ports for your personal watercraft. Plus, they have composite decking that stays cool, designed with your feet in mind. Sunrise Docks is always first in quality, first in service, and first in customer satisfaction. Right off Highway 63, your Lake Martin headquarters, with 2 barges and the most experienced boat lift crew on the lake. Sunrise Docks is your lake life expert. Call 256-392-5200.
All right, we're back, folks. We're recapping Bubba Goes West, our trip with Caravan Tours, as we went out and toured Big Sky Country, bucket list items for me. And we were talking about Yellowstone. Yellowstone was actually a 2-day event, day 5 and day 6. It took that much to see it. We saw Mammoth Hot Springs, which is a huge bubbling up of hot water and bacteria that forms around that, and the salt-looking stuff around. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
It was a big stinky hole. Yeah, it really was. It was mammoth, all right.
And that's the only time on the trip we saw a snake.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And it looked almost like a rattlesnake, but what did they call it? It wasn't. It was our chicken snake, but they called it something else out there.
Yeah, they said it mimicked a rattlesnake. It would shake its tail, but most I've seen king
apparently
snakes do that too.
It was was not
I wasn't excited.
Poisonous snake.
I wasn't excited to see it.
Well, no, it was a big old snake.
If I could have got close to it, I'd have killed it. But the park probably wouldn't have appreciated that. So we did that. Then we went the second day over to see the geysers and all that we just told you about, which to me, I think may have been the pinnacle for me. Then we go over to Jackson Lake Lodge. And this is over in the Teton National Park. Mm-hmm. Now, I know many of you have heard of the Grand Tetons, and you probably are well aware of how they got their name. Mm-hmm. A little shocked that they've let them keep those names over the years. If you are looking at the Grand Tetons from about 50 miles away, clearly 2 humps, okay? And it was named by a bunch of Frenchmen that were there fur trapping and had not seen women in 6 months.
Yeah, shocker.
So
yeah.
That's how it got its name. I noticed our tour guide struggled a little bit with the correct way, the politically correct way to say this, but I think you all get the point. We did have a 2-night stay at the Grand Teton National Park Lodge, which is called Jackson Lake Lodge. When you walk into the lobby of this place,
it's unbelievable. It really is.
When you get up on the Grand Tetons, it doesn't look like 2 humps anymore. It looks like a bunch of humps. Okay, mm-hmm. My humps. It is just breathtaking mountains It has snow on the top of it still. You get above 8,000 feet, the snow stays. Or as it melts, there's actually glaciers, big ice formations. And so we got to see that. And there's this huge wildlife area between the lodge and the base of the mountains, and you're elevated a little bit. So you can see, we actually saw a moose out there in the high brush.
Well, some of the people we went with had binoculars,
Right.
and he spotted it, so we were able to see it.
So and we stayed in, what would you call that? It's
The lodge?
yeah, but the part we were staying in.
Oh,
It's
kind
not-
of a
It was
cabin-y
cabin-y thing.
No air, no TV.
No air, no
Which
TV.
There was not. And we were there 2 nights, but I'll say, I mean, you weren't in the room, but maybe to sleep. You know what I mean? That was it. Maybe an hour to get ready in the morning, hour to get ready for bed, and then sleeping. And that was basically when you were in the room. But I accidentally was fidgeting because I thought, well, surely there's a little air in here. No, there was not. And I inadvertently turned the heat on. So it was like a sauna
Yeah, we come back.
in the bussy cabin when we came back.
Came back from dinner to sauna-like conditions because Betty, not knowing what she was doing, fiddled with the thermostat and got the heat on.
And so we opened the door. I said, I really don't care at this point if a bear comes in here tonight. I'm ready to get this place cooled off.
Well,
So
the Grand Tetons are a high animal area. We saw bison by the hundreds in the Grand Teton.
Yeah, we did.
We saw moose. We saw all this other stuff, and they warned us a lot about bears. Every trash can is bear proof. You have to put your hand in and pull a button to get the lid to come up. It's built like a tank.
They must be a big raccoon because, the raccoons are like that with the cat
Right.
feeder,
The thing is, we had to leave our door open for a little while and put a fan to get some air in there because it was, again, like a sauna. Thanks, Betty. And but I mean, I was like, if a bear wanders up, we've had it. We're in trouble. So we ended up cracking the windows that night, but but they really warned us about leaving your door shut and locking.
Oh,
the
yeah,
door.
we did shut the door and lock it before we went to sleep. But,
I will say this too: there was another moment on this that was almost, I don't want to overplay this term, but almost a religious feel to it. One was at the fountain geyser. When you see that and you realize what's happening and how deep it is, and in fact, you're standing on a volcano that's heating this water to scalding temperatures. And the other was when we walked into the lodge's lobby. And it's huge, folks. I mean, it's like you're walking into the sanctuary of a church. It's 3 or 4 stories tall. You have these big windows where you see the Grand Tetons, and you see the glaciers, the ice on it. And there was a lady playing a grand piano. And she was playing Faithful by Journey.
yeah.
And
It was
when I
pretty
heard
cool.
those first few chords, man, I just teared up. It was something. It was just the beauty and the magnitude of it is just unbelievable. And then to hear that song on top of it, I thought, man, that is awesome.
Well, it was the same way at Mount Rushmore behind those, the sky.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
really, really pretty.
And it was a fun trip, even though we're both tearing up now. So day 7, we are still at the Jackson Lake Lodge, and we sign up for a rafting trip down the Snake River.
Yes.
How about that?
Neither one of our kids could believe we had done that. They're like, "Are you sure?"
Now, let me be clear. This was not a whitewater rafting trip.
No. I made sure.
This was more like the Okefenokee Swamp at Six Flags.
Yes.
But
it was very docile.
There was a few places that had, a little bit of white water from.
Yeah.
But not. We bumped through one little spot that we jumped up and down a little bit. But the good part about this time of the year, the river is at high high mark.
Yeah.
So you don't get stuck on anything.
Yeah.
And we went down that river, an hour and a half?
It was 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, we were on there 2 hours.
And
yeah.
it was it was so much fun because
It
you're
really
in a
was.
boat with about 10 people.
It was 12 people, 6 and 6, and our guide was in the middle with the oars. Yeah.
We had more in our boat than
We
some
did.
of the others.
Yeah.
But it was a little challenging getting in the raft. We had to walk through some mud to get there. I videoed that because I couldn't wait to hear Betty talk about her tennis shoes.
Hey, I did good. I didn't complain.
You did.
Did not
You
say
did.
one word about it.
But I thought the trip down the Snake River, we had a great guy running the raft named Jess.
Yeah, he was great.
And he lives there. His wife works at the hotel.
lodge. Yeah.
And he was a lot of fun. And he told us, he said, look, when we get on this, we could see moose, we could see buffalo or bison.
Or bears.
He said, we see bears on this regularly.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is that video of those guys in Alaska on that raft and that mama bear comes out in the water after them.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about.
Of course, and he tells me that right before we get on the raft. And I'm like, don't even start,
But it was a very, very enjoyable trip. Like I say, we got to talk with some of our other travel mates and get to know them a little bit better. We did see bald eagle.
We did, and
ospreys,
osprey,
hawks, several things, and it was. I'll say that was probably the surprise fun event of the whole thing for me.
The raft,
yeah,
really,
yeah. I mean, it was again. I wasn't expecting a lot, but I enjoyed it more than I thought.
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't. I was afraid I would be a little apprehensive, but I really wasn't. I mean, when they said even the wheelchair folks got on it, I thought, well, I'll be fine, surely.
Sure, and we had a few with some walking sticks in our group, so they all volunteered, they all went. So I thought, we can't bail out
I will
on
be
this.
fine. Yeah,
but they do tell you if you fall overboard what to do, and
I
we had
know.
to wear life jackets.
And he starts telling you that right before you get on. And me and everybody else were looking at each other like, what? We're going to fall off?
Well, they tell you not to try to get back in the boat. They tell you to put your feet downstream and float.
I thought, you got to be kidding me. I ain't floating for the rest of the way.
I'd be like a cat trying to get up a tree, get back in that raft, I'd be stretching and clawing.
Pull everybody out. That would have really been a story right there.
But it was a very fun day, a couple of fun days that we had there at the Grand Tetons. And I tell you, I could go back and spend another few days there. You just cannot take it all in.
No.
We went to the spot where Ansel Adams took his historic photograph. Trust me, if you've not seen it, it's probably hanging in your grandmother's house.
Yeah.
I know mine had it one time.
Yeah.
I'd like to have another copy of it now. The photography that's available from there is just absolutely breathtaking. So we leave the Grand Tetons and we head to Salt Lake City. And we got to see several things on the way to that. We saw the Oregon Trail. We stopped at one place where the Oregon Trail started. And they have a visitor center, kind of a museum type thing. And the local theater group actually puts on a little thing about taking you on the trail. Mm-hmm. And I know you were concerned about some of that when we got around the old campfire.
Well, no, you left off Jackson Hole. We went to Jackson Hole that afternoon after the Tetons.
I'm sorry. How did I forget that?
You left that completely off, where the big antler arch was.
Yeah, we got a picture of that.
Yeah,
that'll be online.
Have that.
Jackson Hole, I'd always heard about it, and we had an intern that actually worked there for a while. What you need to think of is Gatlinburg West. It's very Gatlinburg looking, but it's all in like a square and branches off the square. And when they say Jackson Hole, it's technically Jackson, and Jackson Hole is on down the road a little bit, but everybody calls it Jackson Hole.
And what's the little, wasn't it a drugstore thing that we ate there too, or was it
it was the Jackson drugstore.
It wasn't Wall. Wall was the other one.
It was Jackson Drug
Jackson
Store.
Drug or something.
It's a famous landmark. We had lunch.
It was
there.
really good. Really good.
Yeah.
They're known for like their huckleberry shakes or something like that. And I tasted the ice cream. I didn't get a shake. You got a like chocolate shake. But we got the burgers because those were supposed to be the thing to get.
Oh,
yeah.
I got the rodeo clown
Oh,
burger.
yeah.
Check this out, folks.
Rodeo clown. Yep.
This is why I've got to really cut back this week.
Yes.
It was a hamburger with what was
barbecue
it?
meat.
It had
and
barbecue
something.
meat
Yeah.
on top of the hamburger.
Is that bound to you? Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm gonna tell you. I don't know. That one meal's gonna take 2 weeks on Zap Bound to get over.
I ate more hamburgers this past week because the bison burger, the regular hamburger, this, that, and other. Yeah, we all did.
Times.
Yeah. So I know I'm gonna have to like take up running or something, I guess, and starve.
So our last part of our tour is we go to Salt Lake City. And we actually got a tour of some of the Mormon setup there, the LDS group. Got to see, we got a tour inside the temple. And we learned a lot of history about the Mormons on the way out there because of their heavy influence as they migrated west. But every town has a temple.
Sure does,
and what was the name of the other?
Tabernacle or
Tabernacle.
Whatever. Yeah,
Was that
we didn't get to go in the Mormon tabernacle because that's like sacred or whatever.
Well,
but we were able to go in one of their. I don't remember what they called it exactly. A smaller thing.
In each town, I think it was the temple that was open to the public.
Maybe so. Yeah.
And they always would leave a door open because everyone was invited to come in, and they used it for community events. Mm-hmm. But as you said, the tabernacle was
reserved
for Mormon worship.
Yeah.
And only you had to be a certain grade or certain class of Mormon to even get to go in. You had to have a recommendation, I think.
And if you were going to get married there, you had to have a recommendation and all that. Yeah.
And it was, the history of that is interesting. I know, we don't subscribe to the Mormon beliefs. We have some commonality in that, but we don't carry it to the limit they did. And they, will add on the Book of Mormon. But you have to appreciate what they have done in Salt Lake City.
The gardens were beautiful.
And the business model they have.
Yeah.
Now, it is strange to me that the Mormons are not allowed to take caffeine.
Yeah.
And certain things like that, but yet they own the Coca-Cola bottling rights there. So, and they own grocery stores that sell alcohol, but they're not allowed to take out. I have a little bit of a problem with that, to be honest with you. That seems like we're in business more than we're following our religion.
Yeah.
No offense to the LDS.
Yeah.
But the two, I do appreciate, and I'll underline this, their moral stance. They're very moral people. They're very focused people. They take care of each other. And their business models to do business with other Mormons is why they're so successful.
Right.
They have really grown their businesses up taking care of each other. So I think that leaves something that we all could do a little bit better. But we did meet two young ladies there that were doing their tour, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
One was from Canada and one was from Australia. Or it was somewhere way off.
I can't remember.
Anyway, I engaged him and talked to him a little bit, but I didn't go too evangelical on them, being that we were their guest and we only had about 20 minutes. So, but I did pray for them. And
there's Ruby.
The dogs are upset, even at the mention of it.
That's right.
But it was the barkers are in play. Just shut that door, Betty. That'd be the best thing as we're recording the podcast. But it was very interesting to see. Salt Lake City is a beautiful town. There's people there from all over the world, and it has to be one of the cleanest towns you'll ever run into.
It really was.
They ain't a piece of trash blowing anywhere.
The airport that we flew out of in Salt Lake City was really clean. I've never seen an airport that clean either.
Or that efficient.
Efficient.
My
goodness. They really were. Yeah.
If Salt Lake City was a fast food, they'd be Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
I don't know how else to put it.
Or a grocery store. They would be,
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I would not mind going back there at all. The Delta Center, it's a Delta hub. The Delta Center where the Jazz play was just a few blocks away from all the Latter-day Saints operations. And it's an interesting story how that came about and how they had to keep moving west because they were getting run out of everywhere they were at. And they literally went to a place that nobody wanted and made it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Salt Lake City is a desert. And
Right.
they made it bloom.
It is. Yep.
No doubt. So interesting story, even though I don't completely agree with their religious takes on that. And I'm not going to act like I do. And I know even some of the LDS listening to this, we've probably had that debate in email before. I can respectfully disagree with you, and I hope you appreciate that. All right, so that was day 9. We hit the airport, we fly back, and hey, baby, it's an all day event. We got to go through Detroit again.
Had another mini stroke when we scheduled the flight back, apparently. So yeah, we go to Salt Lake City. We go to Detroit, Michigan once again.
Detroit, nice airport. By
It
the way.
is. It's a very nice airport. Sure is.
Had a 37-minute layover, which
wasn't
was
bad.
just about the amount of time we needed to get from one flight to the
Yeah,
other.
it really was, because we had to take concourse this and that or whatever, the train to the concourse, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, yeah, it was just enough time, made the flights. So,
I think what I was thinking back then was we're trying to avoid Atlanta. And you say, well, why do you avoid Atlanta? Well, this has happened many times. We fly into Atlanta, then you have this real quick flight back to Birmingham, about an hour. But you spend more time in the terminal and on the runway than you do in the air. And that always aggravated me to no end. So we were going to have to make a connection. I thought, well, let's just make it in Detroit. Then we'll have 2, medium length flights. We won't have a real short one. And we can avoid the delays in Atlanta. And I'll have to say, Detroit was much quicker at getting you in the air from the terminal.
yeah, I guess so. It's been so long. The last time I flew out of Atlanta was last December, maybe, when we went to Orlando,
Right.
I guess. And we almost missed that flight. That was pre-knee replacement for you. And you were trying to hobble through there, and it was not happening to get to the gate in time. But we did, barely. Yeah.
Since you brought that up, you have to admit this trip was much better. I
You
fine.
did great. Yeah. Other than the high elevation and getting out of breath, you did great. Yeah.
And I just sit down, caught my
Yeah.
breath.
Yeah, you did
Wasn't a big
fine.
deal.
Yeah. You did good.
So I think knee replacement at this point looks like good.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I
Now,
think so, too.
3 surgeries. We'd like to keep it to 1.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it went well.
Right. Yeah.
So, again, I want to thank Jim Kelly, or as I love to call him, Jim Machine Gun Kelly. He was a great tour guide. He knew every turn on that highway.
That's what was so funny. And he'd give you a play-by-play of Dennis, the bus driver. That's
Right.
what was so funny that David Shaw pointed out or whatever. Because he would say, okay, we're turning in. Dennis is going to go left. We're looking for a parking place. We're looking. On
the left.
Yes. It was just and then above 2:00, sheep horns, or whatever, or bison or whatever it was. It was so funny.
And Dennis threaded that bus through some places.
Oh my gosh.
There wasn't 1 inch of clearance by my window.
If y'all can thank Kramer on Seinfeld and just think about Kramer getting older and now we're driving a bus.
Well,
To me, Dennis reminded me so much of Kramer. I mean, he really did. I mean, he wasn't that funny like that, but his mannerisms.
He didn't talk that much.
No, he didn't. He didn't talk that much.
There was some resemblance.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
But super guy.
Oh, my gosh. So nice. And an excellent bus driver. He really was.
As the military says, I'd fly with him any day.
Oh, yes.
And and Jim did a great job.
He
Caravan
sure did.
Tours did a great job. We got recommended to them by your sister Peggy, who had been on this
Who
tour.
is flying out tomorrow morning on another caravan tour to the Canadian Rockies.
And there's several groups that was touring along with us, and I'm sure they do a great job too. Again, caravan, we had a great time. I would probably book with them again. next time. My personal thoughts.
I would too, I think. I'll see how my sister likes the Canadian Rockies. That may be our next trip.
and while there's other places I would like to see, I would have no trouble going back and seeing this again.
Oh, no. No, I don't know that I want to do this exact tour again. You know what I mean? Maybe fly to Jackson or something and
you
look
really
around.
liked Jackson Hole, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I really did.
You came out.
Yeah.
Now, we packed our suitcases. When you unzipped them, they almost exploded. and here comes Betty with a bag full of things she's bought.
Well, I found the $9.95 T-shirt rack. You know what I mean, at Jackson. So, you couldn't pass that up. Come on.
Well, it was a great tour. Any of you that are wanting to go out west, I would highly suggest that you go ahead and do that. We do know this. July is the busiest month.
Right.
Caravan does not even do tours in July. It's so crowded. But June is a great time to go because they're gearing up for that busiest part of the year, but it's not as crowded. Now, there was plenty of folks there.
Oh, there were plenty, yeah.
It's not as busy as it would be in July.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of watch the seasons, too. I think all of that ends fairly early in October because they have a pretty hard winter there. So.
Well, the weather's great in June, too, or it was for us. Now, a week or two before us, though, it snowed.
Yeah.
So you just never know. That's why we packed bigger coats. You just don't know what to pack, really, is the only thing.
Jim had told us the group he carried before us, I think it was about 2 weeks earlier, they had heavy clouds and couldn't even see Rushmore.
I know. I cannot imagine.
I would be sick if I went that far and could not see it.
Couldn't see anything much because of the weather. So,
and by the way, those of you that saw National Treasure, there is a room at the top of Mount Rushmore where they were going to put in all these important documents. It was never finished.
Yeah.
So the movie is accurate in that part, and you can see that in the movie that they show about Rushmore there. So we'll wrap up this segment here. This podcast is going to run a little long, but we had a lot to do. Overall, Betty, I say A+ on the trip.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
It was tiring
A+.
after about day 6.
Well, we're not used to getting up and being gone by 7:30.
Well, not all
7
of
o'clock.
us.
Well, you ain't gone that. Like, you're not. You come home and take a nap by 2 o'clock. What are you saying? Like, we would start out. We would be at breakfast by 6:30 at the latest, and we would stay out and about, walking around, seeing stuff, doing stuff until really 6, 7 at night. So, I mean, it was a 12-hour busy day. And we would come back and be exhausted, usually.
And when we came back to go to bed, we didn't have any problem going to bed.
No.
And I did not miss not having a TV.
Yeah, me either. No, you didn't need a TV.
No,
gone. Yeah.
So I give it an A+. Caravan Tours is who we went with, but however you get there. I do like the fact we had the bus tour. I thought a few times if I had to drive that, you would miss a lot. Because on the bus, you can just sit back and let them do the driving, them do the talking, and you take it all in.
And huge windows on the bus that you could see out and take your pictures, and he would tell you and whatever. And at least we know now what we're up against. If we do want to fly out and drive or something, we can do that.
Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all to go and stay a week at the Grand Tetons.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
And do
Not
all
sure
of that stuff again.
Where or whatever, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that Jackson, was it Jackson Lake Lodge? It's just so breathtakingly pretty.
Oh, it is.
Has 3 restaurants in it.
Oh, it does. So. Okay, the restaurants were excellent and all that too. By the way,
if you're a cowboy and you burn the kind of calories they did every day, you need a 5,000 calorie meal. Not worry about it.
Yeah.
You know? And they tried to eat those too, by the way. And they still supply them.
Yeah, they do. Yep. They have quite the ice cream thing there too.
And you know, one of the funniest things, we ran into several people who were familiar with the radio show and the podcast while we were gone.
Yeah.
And made, like you said, a lot of good friends. A shout out to Lisa and Rob. Conrad from Maryland.
Yeah.
We ate dinner with them the last night. A great couple. great story about them getting together. And
the young couple from Florida, we met them. And then the Buffalo Four, fondly named the Buffalo Four because it was 4 ladies from Buffalo, New York. Yeah,
we'll give them a name now.
Yeah, and also the South Carolina Six, although 2 of them were actually living in Pennsylvania now. They've recently sold their house in South Carolina. And building in Maryland, close to the lake over there, or the water. So,
and
anyway.
We want to thank our longtime friends, David and Nancy Shaw from Jacksonville, who had to leave a day early. Because Nancy's mom was being inducted into the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her. And I've had the pleasure of working with her in the regional basketball tournament the past 2 years. So congratulations to her. Well deserved for her history and everything that she did to bring women's sports along in our county. And we missed David and Nancy the last day, but I think they got the majority of it.
I think they did. They missed the raft trip and Jackson Hole.
Right.
So now they're saying we must fly out there and at least do that. Yeah. And maybe if we go back to Salt Lake City, I want to go to, what's that, Park City is what I do. It's like 45 minutes from there or whatever.
Well, and let me say this. While we were in Salt Lake City, headed to the airport, I asked our driver about Brandon Fugel. That owns Skinwalker Ranch, and he knows where his building was. It was a few blocks away from where we were driving. We didn't go by. And I did talk to Dr. Travis Taylor while we were there. And I said, how close are we? He said 2 hours. He said, nobody's there right now, but you can go to the gate and take a picture. And it was 2 hours, and we didn't have 4 hours to give at the time. But flying back to Salt Lake City.
Here we go.
Listen, Skinwalker is still on the bucket list.
Well,
I knocked a lot of things off my bucket list.
I know. In just 9 days. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you got a Tesla. That was right before we left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we have the parade of trade-in cars that we're about to have to get rid of. So I don't know who's ready for a used car. Anybody? Anyone?
Well, I'm pretty sure I told the story about how I got my bucket list during the first segment. If we didn't, we'll catch up on that later. So anyway, trip A+. If you get a chance to go to Big Sky Country, Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, all that we talked about, go see it. You will not be disappointed. And thank all of you for being a part of Bubba on the Lake.
You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
Hit me bad.
A production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees.
All rights reserved.
Since 1965, Bice Motors has been Lake Martin area's home for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram sales and service. For 60 years, families have trusted Bice Motors in Alexander City for honest deals, friendly service, and the best selection around. Our team of certified technicians services most all makes and models. Plus, we've got a tire center, parts department, and a full collision center to keep you rolling. Bice Motors, your hometown Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealer since 1965. In Alex City or online at bicemotors.com.
Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Want to know what's going on around Lake Martin? Check out the calendar of seasonal events that include Fridays on the Green, naturalist events, fireworks, concerts, poker runs, boat shows, juried art shows, boat parades, and much more. If you're here for the weekend or if you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Russell Lands, Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Central State Bank, Dr. Thomas Dudney, Sunrise Docks, Bice Motors, the Green Monster Fishing Lights.
B-U-double-B-A on the lake. Hey, wishing I could listen to the show every day. Hey, gotta hear what Bubba and his buddies gotta say on B-U-double-B-A on the lake. In the mellow yellow studio, putting on a show. Betty say, what? She always on the go. We got Hunter Bus sitting at master control. Don't wanna miss a moment, cause Bubba's got the flow. B-U-double-B-A on the lake. Hey, wishing I could listen to the show every day. Hey, gotta hear what Bubba and his buddies gotta say on B-U-double-B-A on the lake. Hey, B-U-double-B-A. Hey, B-U-double-B-A. Hey, B-U-double-B-A. Hey, B-U-double-B-A on the lake. Hey.